trying to stay organized and everything is falling through the cracks? Did you know that your planner and your phone can actually work together and it can simplify your life? Today, I'm sharing how I use my planner and my Google Calendar side by side to make life flow the way it should and so it is understandable. Let's dive in. If you're a mom who dreams of that homestead life you see on Instagram, but you feel like you'd need an extra 12 hours in your day to make it happen, along with another set of hands, then Simply Living Homestead is for you. Hi, I'm Amanda, wife, mama, and milkmaid. I've learned the secret to simplifying my time and homestead to make room for the moments that matter. If you're ready to get time back in your day, manage your home with ease, and train your children in the way they should go, grab your pitchfork and planner, friend. Let's get to work. Are you getting Simply Living Homestead's emails in your inbox? Each week, we share encouragement and tips to help you run your homestead smoothly. You'll also be the first to hear about upcoming offers and maybe even see some photos of our baby animals in our farm newsletters. Go to simplylivingHomestead.com/newsletter to get signed up, or click the link in the description box below. Welcome back to the homestead. In today's episode, we're diving into simple time management. How to make your Google Calendar and your planner work together using the time zoning method. By the end of this episode, you should be ready to grab your planner, open up your calendar, and start building a rhythm that truly fits your life and giving yourself some brain space back. I'm really excited to dive into this today. If you have been listening all month, great. You should have all the pieces ready to just dive into this episode. If you haven't, if this is your first episode, you're joining us, go back to episode 32 or 33 and start listening there as we start breaking down the parts of time zoning and what makes up time zoning, because I'd like to try and save some time today and not go over them super heavily. So go back and listen to those. Hopefully they're great listens. I'm recording them all together, so I don't have any reviews. But it's gonna be great. So a Google Calendar. Hopefully you're using one. If not, let's get you started. I said from the time, probably like 14 or 16 years old, about the first time, whenever I got my first smartphone, right, where I actually had a planner inside of it, I have been using a Google Calendar. And I remember I did a lot of jobs as a teenager that I was going a lot of places. I didn't work one steady job. And people would like, well, can you do a thing? And I would like, let me check my calendar. Because if it's not in my calendar, it's not happening, right? And someone would like, let's make plans. And it would go straight into my calendar. You know, if it's not in my calendar, it's not happening. And I feel like that mindset has really benefited me moving into this homesteading lifestyle, and then also running a business and the different things that I'm having to do there. It really does help keep track of my time. So when layered with the time zoning method, the planner, it is something that they work in tandem really, really well. Now, I do want to plug here that I learned about really using these in tandem and what I should be putting inside of them from Chelsea Joe over at Systemize Your Life. Go listen to her podcast. It is amazing. I did learn this from her, and so this is really inspired by her and where I learned it first, and then as I've been able to apply it directly and specifically to my life. So your Google Calendar is your brain's external hard drive. And when we pair it with the planner, it's going to create the rhythm. So your Google Calendar is really to be used just for the things that have hard deadlines. Yeah, hard deadlines, hard times. Things that have a good hard start time when you need to do or start something. They are for the things that need an alert to remind you that the thing is happening, so that you don't have to be holding all that space in your brain that the thing is happening. Okay? So that's what the Google Calendar is for. And then the planner is for everything else that we have been discussing, the zones and the routines and working through that. Okay? So let's start with the planner. For a planner, you don't need anything fancy. Here is the things that I'm going to ask that you have. And I'm also going to tell you my favorite one, but it is a pricey planner. I like spending the money on it because it's one of the few things I spend on myself. But I understand if you're not committed to this idea yet, you might not want that one. So I'm going to give you some other ideas. All right. So as far as a planner, you can use a notebook if you want to draw everything out every single time. You can totally use a notebook. If you want to go to like Target or Walmart or search online, what you are going to want to get, I've seen some good bullet journals that do this, but you are going to want to be able to look at 7 days, so have enough space for 7 days, and they need to be lined up vertically. So the days of the week need to be listed along the top of the planner. You need to be able to fold the book open and it starts at the top and moves down each day. Okay, we don't want them to move across. We want them to move down. I've seen some really good bullet journals be able to like break them into this. And I've seen some other planners, sometimes like just called a weekly planner, where you can see the whole week in the view, but it needs to be vertical. This layout really works best in that format. So when you get your planner or whatever you're choosing to lay this out in, we are going to I use highlighters to mark each of our zones. And again, I said this in the zone episode. No, I might have said it in the episode before. Regardless, the goal is not to be really precise about when that zone starts. It is more to give this feel of how the day is going to go. So, over on my Facebook page, Simply Living Homestead on Facebook, I will share a picture of my planner and the way that it looks. I will share that over there. You can go over there and find that. Unfortunately, I can't put pictures in the descriptions of a podcast. Kind of stinks. I wish I could. But you are going to take your markers, and so you've already kind of blocked out what your zones are, right? And roughly how long they last. So you're going to take your highlighter, and each zone is going to be a different color. So my personal zones are blue. My home and family zones are green. My chore zones are orange, and my work zones when I'm like working on the computer are pink. And then I do a few other things that kind of get more complicated. We're not going to discuss that right now. Probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Oh well. So you're going to like start at the top, and you're going to make a small block for your personal, and then you're going to make a larger block for your home and family, based on how much time of the day you're using for that, and you're going to work down. So that's going to set your zones up in your planner. Then you're going to write your routines in there, and the goal is to just write the name of the routine. You can acronym it, you can name it something fun, and you just write your routines inside the block that you're like, oh, this happens, this happens, this happens. So we write those routines. And down on the bottom or in a blank space, if you have a routine that you're working on, you can absolutely write out every step to that routine because you're working on it to try and get it to re-solidify. Okay? So you can absolutely write that off in the blank space somewhere else. But inside your week, you're just going to write the routines. And I also, in my calendar or in my planner, I put my appointments. I like take a pen and I draw a hard line and I write the appointment. And like I will often like block it in, like this appointment from this time to this time, because that's a hard appointment, just so I can kind of see how the day is going to flow. And then I also put my core essentials. Chelsea Jo calls them fundamental needs. We will have a different episode on those, but things that you are doing to make you feel like you, fundamental needs, will also get put in there. And they are all those things are going to go into your planner, because you need to be able to see how your day is going to go. And you need to be able to denote what are the hard times and what are just this is the flow of my day. Okay, so that is how the planner is laid out. If that doesn't make sense, hop over to our free group and ask. I would be happy to walk you through it. Okay, free group is linked in the show notes down below. Go look at it. All right, great. So now, how do we use the calendar? How do we use our phone to help us not lose all the super important things, right? Your calendar is for appointments and commitments and your core essentials. That is the only things that are going inside your calendar. You are going to go in and you are going to set your appointments. If you have a doctor's appointment, set it up. Whenever you make that appointment, put it in your Google Calendar. Set it up and then tell yourself that you need a day reminder or an hour reminder. I personally set a reminder for how long it's going to take me to get to that location. So most of my doctor's appointments take about 30 minutes to drive to. And so I set a reminder for 30 minutes out. When that timer rings, I had better be getting in the car. But then I also set one for 45 minutes to an hour out so that it reminds me, hey, this thing is coming up, and it's not suddenly like, oh, I gotta run, I gotta leave, right? So I've got a couple of reminders for the appointments. And then core essentials are also being put there in your calendar. If it is something that you want to prioritize and go to and do the thing at a very specific time, put a reminder in there. The things you are putting in your calendar are things with deadlines and things that you need a really hard reminder for. Now, your routines should not be in here. All right? You can occasionally set a reminder for a anchor routine if that coincides with one of your essential needs, your essential core essentials, okay? For example, weekly planning is a routine that I have, but it's also like a core essential. If I don't do it, I am a mess. So I have a reminder to do that thing until it becomes a natural part, and then I don't need that reminder anymore because it flows after something else, right? But I do have reminders in my phone for Emerson's bedtime, because it's very easy for me to miss when I need him to be, going to bed. So that would be like a reminder or something. That, by the way, just Emerson reminding you what time it is, can just simply be an alarm on your phone if you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your calendar. So just throwing that out there. So then together, these are going to work together. Your calendar on your phone calendar, is going to remind you of things that are really important. Okay, the things that you need to meet and you need the deadline for, and when that thing is going to happen. And your planner is going to give you an overview and a structure for your day. It's not rigidity, okay? This is not boxing you in. You can make it look however you want. And if you need to adjust because, hey, we're going on a trip, it's going to look a whole lot different, that's fine. That the beauty of setting up your planner this way, setting up your routines this way, is you are going to be able to see at a glance what is expected out of you and adjust your day and your expectations accordingly, right? You're going to know that, oh, I don't have as much time this morning because these things are happening, right? So together they're going to just like really keep you on track. So to recap, we have your planner. This is where you're going to plan your week. We have the calendar. This is where you're going to see what's happening for specific time-sensitive events. And then together, they're going to help you. They're going to hold all this information for you, and you don't have to hold it in your head. And when you stop holding all of this information in your head, that is when you can start really holding space for the other things that are really important in your life. You don't need a fancy tool. I said that I was going to tell you my favorite planner. So my favorite planner is from Horatio Printing, and I will have them linked below. Their 2026 calendars have just come out, and they are very pretty. They're very nice. They're very, I guess the word I want is deluxe. Yeah, they feel really nice in your hands. But my favorite is Horatio Printing, but I have seen some really nice ones that fit this form. Like, all you need is something that fits into this format to be able to really use it. So today, or sometime here this weekend, if you're listening to this when it launches, this is Friday. So sometime this weekend, I'd love if you could grab a piece of paper even and work this out and like put it down on paper what your next week is going to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? It's gonna change, and you're going to have to get it out on paper before you can see what needs to shift and what needs to change and where you can start making changes in your life to make things easier for you. If you are constantly just trying to do this in your head, right? If you are sitting here listening to me and going, oh, if I just listen enough, it'll fix it. It won't. You have to do the work. You have to do the work, friend. You have to do the work. And so I would love if you did the work and then came over to our free group and shared it with me. I'd love to see it. And I'd love to see what you're working on and what you're struggling with or why this isn't working for you. And yeah, I'd love to see your planner and then your Google Calendar. I'm going to challenge you to go get all of your appointments put in it. Lessons, church, your workout, the things you need to do, the things you're like, I'm going at this time. I challenge you to sit down and get them all into your phone so you can stop carrying them in your brain because your phone is going to remind you. That is all we have for today. If you could leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, that would be so amazing. If you've listened to this whole series, this whole month and went, I was really good. I really enjoyed that. And you really got a lot out of this. Or maybe you just got a little bit of something out of this. Could you please go leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts? It's the only platform that leaves a written review. So I would love if you would share your thoughts over there with me. But if you don't have access to that platform, maybe consider rating this on the podcast player that you enjoy. It really does help other people find this, and we can just grow this group of women who love homesteading and love the Lord, and we're going to just do so much better at managing our time so that we have time to love our babies and watch the sunset and sit and do the things that are really important to us. Until next week, friend, I hope you have a really great week. Hey neighbor, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share this episode with a friend who is knee-deep in their own homestead? Also, please leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. It thrills me to know that this podcast is helping you. Keep watching those sunsets, friend. I'll meet you back here on the homestead soon for another episode. See ya!